I think of doing extraordinary things. I think of achieving great things. If my imagination is left to run about, you know what they call the Lulu. In the midst of wanting to do extraordinary things, I struggle to break them down into manageable steps, everyday steps, routines. And even when I'm able to break them down, I struggle to commit to it.
Sit back, relax, and chill. Grab a glass of wine or a cup of tea, 'cause you're listening to NoTable Talk.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Otumba. Welcome back to NoTable Talk, a podcast where I share some lessons that I've learned from some of my life experiences that may resonate with some of us, experiences that some of us may share. You know how we say, we all live the same life after all. Yeah. I typically exploit that. I exploit that weird phenomenon. If you're first time listening, first time watching, I appreciate you. Thank you. If you're a returnee, thank you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, man. I'm excited for this new year. First of all, I'm grateful for 2023. 2023 was a really, really good year for me from top to bottom. It definitely ended much better than it started for me. And I'm looking forward to 2024. Hey, haha. 2024 is going to be crazy, bro. With this podcast episode, things are going to be a little different because for next couple of videos, honestly, till the foreseeable future, I'm going to be breaking some of my tables. I'm going to be setting up my own tables and breaking them down. It's not just going to be all about me airing my dirty laundry. It's going to be me airing it to be washed. I'm going to highlight ways that I have coped with some of my tables, and I am still coping because I'm definitely not a finished article, bro. I'm definitely still learning along the way. The only rationale I've given myself to do this, the main reason is because I think it's going to be able to help someone, at least someone, you. It's going to be able to help you listening, you watching. And there's going to be other people like you that it could help as well. And also, this could also be me going through my own personal therapy without paying for it. I'm talking through my own feelings, man. I'm being introspective. Without further ado, let's get into it, bro. Let's get into it. Our first table in this series of breaking tables. The table I'm going to be breaking today is the fact that I want to do extraordinary things. I think of doing extraordinary things. I think of achieving great things. If my imagination is left to run about, you know what they call the Lulu. But in the midst of wanting to do extraordinary things, I struggle to break them down into manageable everyday steps, routines. And even when I'm able to break them down, I struggle to commit to it. I could even go as far as to say I could even have the drive to want to be great. Like I can put in the work to be great, but you see that everyday work, so it could just be like, oh boy, does it have to do this? Can't it just like happen? Can't like, I just have like that big break and then just, I'm up there. Can't I just meet the right person? Do I have to be patient? And I had to go through the time and the effort and the energy and all the disappointment that could come with it. Is disappointment a prerequisite to success? Must I be disappointed? Yeah, those manageable steps, that process, I could struggle with it. I'm going to talk today, for at least today, I'm going to talk about the first part of it, being the fact that I struggle to actually put those steps in place, put those routines in place. And thankfully, I'm getting better at it, especially because I have seen the effects of not getting better at it. I would say that I have learned from my mistakes. Life has taught me. Maybe one day, if the opportunity presents itself, or if I decide to maximize any opportunity given, I could go into a little bit more detail. But I do know all too well what it means to not want to go through the process, not want to do the everyday work that it takes to achieve that great thing or to get to the finish line, especially in the educational sphere. And I would say experience has made me kind of averse to wanting to go through that again. That is quite a motivator for me to be better. So I have improved. I have been better. On that note, I'm struggling to actually put in those stages or break those big goals, those big achievements into everyday tasks, everyday manageable tasks that could seem sometimes monotonous. Here's what I've realized. Everything of immense value, any great thing, anything that has inherent value, not just face value, but has inbuilt inherent value, takes time. It cannot be escaped. It takes time. And in time, what happens in time is there's process. And in process, you become. Okay, that could sound very, very philosophical, very, very, very cryptic. But let me break it down like this. I'm going to use the example of a baby from conception to delivery. I must say that again, my previous equation. Anything of immense value. A baby, beautiful, beautiful baby. Babies are beautiful. So to have something of immense value, a baby, it takes time, typically 9 months. And in time, there's process. In the 9 months, there's a process from conception to all the fetal stages up until delivery. There's process. And in that process, you become. In that process from conception through delivery, that baby becomes the baby that is delivered. That's the first equation. Keep that in mind. Anything of immense value takes time. In time, there's process. And in process, you become. So in other words, in order for you to become, you have to subject yourself to a process. And the process takes time. You know what I'm saying? A process takes time. Now, earlier I said anything of immense value takes time. And I just said that a process takes time. Anyone that has done math can surmise to say that at the end of the day, since value equals time, and process equals time, then value equals process. That's simple enough. So I promise, the math is over now. The math is over now. I just needed to set that premise that at the end of the day, the value, the extraordinary thing you see, the value of that thing, the value of what you want to become, what you want to do, is in the process. Is in the process. So let's look at that example we used of the baby. That's our premise, our primary example. Babies are precious things, amazing things, bundles of joy, beautiful gifts. At the end of the day, you can determine the value of the baby you birthed based on the process you embark on, based on the process that baby is subjected to. Any expectant mother is given certain do's and don'ts. Even they may have certain things that they want to do more of or less of, depending on what kind of baby they want to birth. There's certain things you're advised not to do in the process. You're advised not to take certain substances. You shouldn't drink, you shouldn't take drugs. Certain habits you should imbibe, you should exercise. Not even just for the good of the baby, but also for your good. So, wow. So now, not only is the process important to the value of the baby you birth, but it's also important to the value of the mother you become. Mad. Mad. So that just highlights the importance of process, because process is where the end result is created. Like I said, I know all too well the consequences of not doing what you have to do. And it's cost me a couple of things, like time. I want to say there's about 3-ish years, 3.5-ish, probably even 4 years that I could have done better with. And in that time, I didn't allow myself to go through the process. I didn't allow myself to be subjected to the process. The process that, when one really looks at it, it really wasn't too much that was being asked of me. If anything, my mates were doing it. So why couldn't I do it? You feel me? And Like I said, maybe one day I'll open up more about it, but there are other factors that went into it. You get me? But no matter the things that I could say were reason or not reason enough, nothing was indeed reason enough. I just didn't do the work. I just didn't go through the process. And when I look at that time of my life and I look at the more recent time of my life where I recovered, and I look at what I had done in 3 years when I allowed myself to go through the process, I allowed myself abide by those day-to-day manageable steps. And that's the funny thing. That's the part of the whole dream and the journey that is in your hands. The day-to-day, the manageable. You can foresee and dream and imagine and delulu all you want. But it's not tangible yet. The only thing that you have to manage that whole process is what you have now. The day-to-day, the day-to-day, the day-to-day. And I didn't subject myself to the process. And over time, especially from that major experience, and I've had other experiences, but it's funny because I had experiences that, if anything, were warning me or warned me toward that experience, but I just didn't learn. But you're going to learn, boy. You're going to learn. Either you learn the easy way, you learn the hard way. And the beautiful thing about learning is you don't have to learn from your own experience. You can just learn from what I'm saying. I can guarantee you that dream you have, that thing you're looking towards attaining, that extraordinary thing, if you want to achieve it, especially if you want it to be of real value, especially if you want to be the person that will handle that point well, subject yourself to the process, bro. Subject yourself to the process. Break things down into those everyday manageable tasks. One step at a time will take you a mile eventually. You can sit here and imagine getting to that end of the mile. But if you don't take a step, after another, it could take you an hour to get there. Maybe more than an hour. Maybe, who knows? Depends on how fast you walk. But it could take you an hour to get there. Or you could sit for 1 hour. The time will pass. The difference between you that sat and watched that 1 hour go by is that you made zero progress. But the you that spent that hour working or walking, taking one step after the other, wouldn't just get you to your destination, but to help you build stamina to know what it means to walk that mile. It helps you understand the best way to pace yourself for the next mile. It helps you to understand what you need to take with you on the next journey. It fills you with experience. You become in that mile. I'm going to stop there today. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the next step. I talked about this table being me thinking of or yearning to the extraordinary things and having a drive to the extraordinary things, but struggling to break it down into manageable steps. The next video, I'm going to talk about, yes, when I manage to break it down into manageable steps, sometimes I struggle to commit to the manageable steps. So that's what I'm going to talk about in the next video. Thank you for watching, for listening to NoTable Talk. At the end of this whole journey, there will be no tables because we'll break everything down. So like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. I'm looking forward to the next video. Looking forward to hearing your feedback and seeing what you have to say. All right. Talk to you all later. All right. Peace.
Sit back, relax, and chill. Grab a glass of wine or a cup of tea, 'cause you're listening to NoTable Talk.